Council Tuesday, December 5th. Please stand for our invocation led by Pastor Deborah Peppers, Bethel AME Zion AME Church, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence following the pledge.
Let us pray. God of peace, God of justice, God of right and righteousness, for all that are gathered here today, I come to say thank you. Thank you for your blessings, the opportunity to serve, your loving kindness and forgiveness. Lord, grant this City Council of Mobile wisdom to govern in spite of conflicting interests and issues of today. Help them to exhibit a true sense of concern for community and give them the confidence to do what is right. Give them all and all of us an ability to work together in harmony and peace as you provide us with joy in our lives and our daily task. Let the work that is done here today please you as well as be beneficial for all the people of Mobile. I pray to you, Lord Jesus, in your name, amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask if we would observe a moment of silence in the memory and for the loss of Mr. Willie Brown. Mr. Brown served as an employee, longtime employee of Winsel's Oyster House for 47 years. He was the quintessential oyster shucker. But he was so much more than that. He was an ambassador, he was a friend, he was someone that you could go and to lay some of your issues, and over a few oysters really worked to solve a lot of the world's problems. I wish we had more Willie Browns here in the city of Mobile, and I think it appropriate that we all observe his memory in our own special way at this time. Thank you.
Roll call. Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich. Here. Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
The rules of the council are quite simple. We ask that each individual interested in discussing city business will contact the city clerk's office by 2 p.m. You've also had the ability to sign in today for items pertinent to today's agenda. I ask that you would silence all of your telecommunication devices. Once at the podium, if you would clearly articulate your name and your address, you will have 5 minutes uninterrupted to make your presentation. At the 4th minute, you will hear a bell, and at the concluding minute, you will also hear one, and it's at that time we ask that you would wrap up all of your commentary and that you would please be seated. We ask that we would respect the solemn event that we're having here today, respect our decorum, no loud outbursts. If you need to address someone, please address me, the chair, and if someone from the administration or one of my council colleagues needs to respond to what you've just articulated, they will have that ability. Again, thank you for coming to today's Mobile City Council meeting.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Approval of the minutes
So moved. Second.
of November 28th.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved.
Communications from the mayor.
Well, good morning.
Good
It's good to see a good crowd here this morning. It's been a day of photo opportunities with a lot of our athletes. But before I continue on that train of thought, I'd like to read a proclamation recognizing our Conservation Corps. And so I'd ask Roberta Swan and the Conservation Corps students to please come down. And Roberta, any of your other staff that you would like to join y'all at the podium, just bring them with you. And I'll forewarn you, Roberta, after I've read the proclamation, you'll have an opportunity to make a few remarks to the City Council. Yeah. Okay, the proclamation reads, whereas the City of Mobile supports the ecosystem and the recreational opportunities it provides to residents and the local economy, and whereas the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program, Martin Luther King Avenue Redevelopment Corporation, the Student Conservation Association, they partnered to secure grant funding from the National Fish and Wildlife Federation, creating the next generation of conservationists, to establish the Coastal Alabama Conservation Corps, a phenomenal group of young adult conservationists. Whereas the Conservation Corps worked throughout a hot summer to eradicate invasive popcorn trees and privet from productive wetland woodlands, they cleared over 1,000 feet of impaired drainage and installed rain barrels in the lower 3 Mile Creek watershed, and assisted the City of Mobile with drain clearing, post-storm debris removal, and the maintenance at Mobile Municipal Langen Park. Now, therefore, I, William S. Stimson, the 108th Mayor of the City of Mobile, do hereby commend the Coastal Alabama Conservation Corps of the City of Mobile. Congratulations. And I would say to the City Council that, you know, these, they used herbicides to eradicate these invasive species of plants. The first job I had, or really the second job I had at age 13, I also was using herbicides to eradicate invasive species of trees. So there may be a future mayor among them.
All right.
Thank you. My name is Eric Lucas. I live on 661 Chin Street, Mobile, Alabama. I started off as a teen. I didn't know anything about conservation or about the environmental issues that I had in the surrounding areas. Me and my fellow co-workers, we did not know anything. Like stepping outside, having to look at trees, we didn't know whether it was invasive or it was supposed to be there at all. So after being on this program, we learned a ton of skills that we can use both professionally and for conservation, because conservation is so wide. Being introduced to the environment changed the way that I live my life now, because I look at other people and I see them doing wrong and I want to tell them. So I tell them and they tell their friends, and we just spreading the word. And my coworkers are doing the same, and everyone I meet. So, and I want to express gratitude for having the opportunity given to me for this experience, because I know most people would never even think that this would happen. And I also wanted to hope for that the city can possibly support this in the future. And I humbly want to appreciate the Mobile National Estuary for making this happen, because without them, I wouldn't be here today.
Most of you know me. I'm Debbie Foster. I'm the Executive Director of Dog River Clearwater Revival in the Peninsula of Mobile. And I'm here on behalf of both of those organizations and the vast watershed that Dog River represents for the City of Mobile and parts of Mobile County to tell you how all of us, the City of Mobile, the taxpayers, the people in our members, have benefited from the work of these young people. And how we've reaped financial benefits from this via the stormwater and erosion control and wetland restoration, invasive species eradication that these guys did, and girls did, in the watershed. First of all, they went out to Dog River Park for us, and during an incredible heat wave in August, these young people finished spreading mulch, a project that we had started earlier, around trees. Now, for many of you, you don't know that mulch retains the moisture and the coolness around trees, around their root base, but it also helps retain the erosion, which is the #1 problem facing Dog River. Dog River Park also, they went back on another day and worked with us for our Scenic Blueway. For those who don't know, there are 6 launch sites throughout the city of Mobile where you can access Dog River. Most of them are in varying states of overgrowth. We live in a city that grows 12 months out of the year. So these people went in and they shored up our signage, they set concrete for the signage, they helped reestablish this low-impact site. We don't want any concrete at these sites. We don't want to increase the sedimentation and the stormwater runoff. They went in and got the invasive species. They relocated and set markers to help the public actually know where they are. In September, we had the annual Alabama Coastal Cleanup. This year was the 30th anniversary of that. These, I'm going to call them kids because at my age they are, they came out, they helped this old woman set up, they loaded, they slung filthy, muddy tires and every other smelly bag of heavy garbage that got thrown at them, and they did it all with a smile and words of encouragement, not only to everybody around them, but to me as well. Hall's Mill Landing is one of the loveliest of the Dog River Scenic Blueway sites. It's located off Riviera du Chien. It's a multi-acre city-owned piece that had suffered some storm damage. It also is in a state of neglect. These guys went out there, again, went after invasive species, cleaned up storm debris, all of this free of charge. We all benefit from this. Roshan Landing, we hope to soon be the gateway to the Dog River Scenic Blueway. It's at the foot of the Dog River Bridge. We needed, because of permitting processes, we needed some areas cleaned. This was hot. This is snake territory. This is stuff, and these guys didn't bat an eyelash, and they went out. Helenwood Park is another area that is directly influenced by both the Peninsula of Mobile and Dog River Clearwater Revival. We've been battling Phragmites and invasive species down there for years. Tom Herder in the audience knows that. These guys went out and again tried to go get a handle around those species. So in conclusion, I just want to say that in the hottest part of the summer, braving humidity, reptiles, bugs, mosquitoes, trash, and all of the nasties of the city of Mobile can throw into our waters or allow to get down in there and wind up in our waterways, these guys went after. I want to thank, on behalf of our organizations, the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program, for helping me work alongside these people. I'm the mother of a 20-year-old, and this was like being around my son and his friends, and they were a delight. And for those who don't think that the youth of today have got anything good going, I could drop these guys off, or I could meet them, get them started, come back 4 hours later, and they had done it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Roberta Swan, and I'm the director of the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program. First, I would like to thank Councilman Richardson, Councilman Manzi, and Mayor Stimson for helping support this program financially, along with the Crampton Trust, Alabama Power, and Mobile County. About a year ago, we asked you to pass a resolution adopting the 3 Mile Creek Watershed Management Plan. And that was precipitated by a group of community leaders working with Michael Pierce at the MLK Avenue Redevelopment Corporation. One of the things that group identified was the need to employ youth from the surrounding area to help manage some of our environmental resources in the 3 Mile Creek watershed. It was their desire that caused us to pursue funding for this program, which was a pilot project. And due to your support, as well as others, we were able to hire 10. This program started out with 10 Conservation Corps members. They did work through the most difficult time of the year in Mobile, Alabama. They got on canoes, never having been on a boat before, to canoe a mile into the swamp, get out, hike a half mile further into the swamp to do their work. I think they would all agree that that's not anything they've ever done before. So I want to thank all of you for supporting the program, and I want to tell you that the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program continues to support the implementation of the 3 Mile Creek Watershed Management Plan to see the transformation of that watershed. In addition to that, for the rest of you that are members of the Dog River watershed, we will be coming to you soon with a resolution of support for that watershed, and we will continue to support the implementation of both those plans. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I appreciate your support, and I hope that we can continue that partnership. Thank you.
To Ms. Swan, to Mr. Herder, to Ms. Foster, and to everyone with the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program, I'm happy to see these young people having had this wonderful opportunity. I can remember meeting the initial 10. It's almost like Survivor, the 4-year stayed to the very end, and I want to commend them. We've heard from Mr. Lucas, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Eric Lucas. He's with the program. Ms. Shayla Fletcher. Raise your hand, Ms. Fletcher. We want to recognize you. Mr. Jamarcus Talib and Mr. Kevin Kidd. These individuals, along with Mr. Tom Herder, the gentleman sitting right next to your names, right on the tip of my tongue. But if both of you all would stand, let's give everyone associated with this program a big round. Thank you all, and however I can be helpful in the future, please let me know.
Be careful.
I'm willing.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
Thank you. I will continue on with a few remarks. I want to follow up with what Councilman Manzi said about Willie Brown. For the young ladies that did not know Willie Brown, he was an icon. If you walked in Winsel's, you could always kind of count on Willie to be back there shucking oysters. And as he said, for 47 years, he shucked millions of oysters for thousands of Mobilians and guests. And it didn't go unnoticed. In 2013, because of his dedication, because of the reputation he had developed, he became the Restaurant Employee of the Year for the entire state of Alabama, which is pretty amazing. So if you're good at what you do, then you will be recognized and appreciated for that, just as you will be recognized later this morning for being state champions in volleyball. But if I were to say what was Willie's most outstanding attribute, it would be his ability to listen. No telling how many people downloaded their problems to Willie, and he would just nod. But there was some consolation in that, so I just pass that on. God gives us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Anyway, we'll certainly miss Willie. Moving on to celebrating the season this Friday. We have an opportunity to get in the Guinness World Record for the most elves in Bienville Square, Elfapalooza. To be part of the official count, come to Bienville Square at 5 p.m. wearing red, green, and an elf hat. And whatever you do, don't forget to bring your pointy ears. And after the official count, we will have the movie Elf being shown at 7:30 in Bienville Square. Earlier this morning, we had an opportunity to tear down a blighted home on Navco Road because of the generosity of the Alabama General Contractors Association. Rob Middleton, the president of Middleton Construction, donated his company's time and equipment to do that. And it's just part of the process that we have of trying to rid the city of blighted properties. Today there'll be an item on the agenda to pass ordinance, excuse me, brain cramp. Be passing an ordinance for us to continue to be able to address this. Last 2 remarks, garbage. If your garbage is being picked up on Monday, starting next week, it will be picked up on Wednesday. We're doing that to better facilitate giving a high quality of service for those that have garbage picked up. Used to be used to be Mondays, and now it will be Wednesdays. The last item is that tomorrow at 9:30 we'll have a ribbon cutting for the 2nd Precinct. It's the first time that the 2nd Precinct has had a standalone police precinct, which is a huge deal for those citizens that live in the 2nd Precinct. We're very proud of the facility, and we look forward to being able to better serve all the citizens in that area. So thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Mr. Williams.
What a great day in Mobile, Alabama. First of all, I'd like to thank Vice President, the representative for District 2, and the downtown area, but more importantly today, the home of McGill-Tulane Catholic High School.
That's right.
We just recognized their football team as they head off to try to accomplish what these ladies have already accomplished. And now it's time for the recognition, the well-deserved recognition of some fine young ladies from McGill-Tulane Catholic High School. Before I start my comments, I would like to ask the head coach, Kate Wood, to join me at the podium. I'm going to give her a little bit of time because I'm going to ask her to introduce who she's brought with her and talk a little bit about their program. And I know that Mr. Manzi has a question for her as we wrap up. And that is, if he remembers, how they got their name. It is really my pleasure, and I think I'm maybe uniquely qualified to make the comments today. First of all, as a representative of the entire city, as a proud Catholic, proud father of two students at McGill-Tulane High School, John Paul and Luke, a senior and a junior there. One that was recognized last night as the most outstanding cross-country athlete of the year in Mobile County. Nice. Also, I am the husband of the dentist to more than half of the Dirty Dozen volleyball team. And a proud benefactor of the entire McGill-Tulane sports program and a big cheerleader of the academics that are achieved at McGill-Tulane High School. We have a lot to be proud of in the city of Mobile, and it is a true bright spot right in the center of our city. So if you'll allow, I'll read the certificate of recognition. And it says, congratulations to head coach Kate Wood, McGill-Tulane Catholic High School Dirty Dozen volleyball team, for outstanding sportsmanship displayed in the team winning the 2017 7A state tournament and being the first team in the AHSAA 7A history to sweep the tournament 3-0.
All right.
This team also won the Margaret Baylock tournament and the Fairhope Back to School Bash. So it wasn't the first time that they had experienced the thrill of victory. We commend the coaching staff, that is Coach Kate Wood, Olivia Mahler, Melanie Fromdahl, and Coach Buchanan, along with their trainer Kelly Vincent, and the athletic director that sees all of McGill-Tulane's success, that is AD Bill Griffin. Thank you for being here. And it's signed by Levon C. Manzi, the council vice president, and John Williams, the councilman of District 4. Congratulations.
First, just thanks for having us. It means a lot to female athletics when they are able to be recognized, and I think it's a great memory for these girls. So I just want to tell you thank you for taking time out of your meeting to do that. Very quickly, I was thinking about what you said about the gentleman from Winsel's, and something that we've been working on with these girls are 4 tenets. Every practice, every match, we ask them 4 questions. Did you give your best effort? Did you have a good attitude? Were you grateful for the experience? And did you treat other people well? And I know it sounds kind of corny, but that really is what we did all year long. And it was pretty amazing to see what these girls accomplished when at the end of each practice or the match, if they could say, yes, coach, I did that, good things usually followed. There were a lot of times when we were down here, but it was at least we knew, hey, if we fix that, this will get better. So that's something that we're teaching these girls, and just made me think about that. Something very simple is just doing your job to the best of its ability. So I'm very proud of these girls for being able to do that. And the Dirty Dozen, started.
I was going to ask.
It's okay, all right. Coach Dickinson, well, the program was started by a woman named Juanita Bodie in the late 60s, early 70s. She was there a couple of years. And then a woman named the legendary Becky Dickinson took over, and then she just started destroying people. She is volleyball. In the state of Alabama, it's a very hard name to follow. She's still surviving over actually in Baldwin County now, and we keep in touch. But I actually had her come and speak to the girls when I first got the job because I wanted them to know what it means to be part of the Dirty Dozen. And that name started because they started a girls' volleyball program, and the boys said, "There's no room for you here." And there was no gym at Bishop Tulane, and so they played outside. And they would have tire irons holding the net up. And that very first state volleyball tournament, you could enter. You could only have 12 members on your team, and you needed a mascot name. Bishop Tulane did not have a mascot name. They had to submit something. And the girls said, "Well, Coach, we're dirty all the time, and there's 12 of us. So we'll be the Dirty Dozen." And it started. Bishop Tulane supported that. Evidently, there were a lot of nuns who did not like the name very much. But Bishop Tulane loved what the coaches were doing. And I said, nope, they are the Dirty Dozen. So we are not the Jackets, we are the Dirty Dozen. And these girls, they all know that story by heart. And the last thing I'll say is that the theme we adopted this year was that we are going to put in the dirty hard work. And they did that. They definitely got dirty. They did all the hard work. And thank you for recognizing that today.
No
Could you
problem.
introduce them?
I would love to. I would love to. Just, raise your hand and you stand up real quick. Lily Fromdahl is a junior.
Right.
Katie Hempill is a sophomore. Erica Schilling is a senior. Courtney Langham is a junior. Hannah Daffin is a junior. Millie Andrews is a senior. Mary Coy Ward is a junior. Kenya McWhorter is a junior. Olivia Still is a junior. Alex Pierre is a junior. Haley Palmer is a sophomore. And Amani Nicholson is a sophomore.
Wow. Congratulations.
And I have my beautiful assistant coach. Go ahead and stand up. She's my famous Ginger. Anywhere we go, she is recognized. She actually just got married 2 weeks ago, so she is now Coach Dalton. Thank you again for having us. I really appreciate it. And Father Shields is here, and our AD, and Brother Paul, who remembers all of those stories because he was there.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So thank you again.
And Coach, I think it's great you have so many sophomores and juniors to come back next year.
I almost said, I'll see you again. That's the goal. That's the plan.
That's terrific.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Well, congratulations. Thank you all.
Adoption of the agenda? Second?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on December 5th through December 8th from 6:45 until 10 p.m. on St. Stephen's Road, and December 16th from 7 p.m. until 12 a.m. at the Explorium.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items carried.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to rezone property at 248 South Sage Avenue, west side of Sage Avenue, 30 feet north of the west terminus of Briarwood Drive from R1 and B2 to R1.
Is there anyone here today that would like to speak in this particular public hearing? If not, public hearing is closed.
Public hearing to consider an amendment to Chapter 64, Section 64-4J of the Mobile City Code, telecommunications towers and facilities to make allowances for new technologies.
Is there anyone here that would like to offer any commentary on this particular public hearing? And if not, this public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Janice Robinson.
Good morning,
Good
City
morning.
Council. My name is Janice Robinson, and I live in the Crichton area on Josephine Street. And my neighbors and I had requested a petition, but we learned that by taking so long to get to us, we learned that your traffic division, I believe, turned it down because Josephine Street is considered an emergency street lane. We have a stop sign on Bayshore and Josephine, McCarley and Josephine, and then a stop sign on Josephine and Mobile Street. What we're asking you today, we can respect the fact that it's a emergency street lane, but the traffic that we having for our elderly people is unbelievable and ridiculous. We have people in wheelchairs and they can't even go to their mail and get their mail because of the traffic. The traffic have turned into traffic like I-65. We come to ask you, can you accommodate us with something to slow the traffic down? Now, some of my neighbors have said that maybe we could ask for the cameras, you know, and ticket them. Because one thing I believe my mother say, you get in somebody's pocket, you got their attention. And that's what we're concerned about is the traffic. It's easily said than done, but I'm gonna leave you all with this. What if I-65 was on you all street? Because that's what that turned into.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Richardson?
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, I agree with Ms. Robinson regarding the traffic on Josephine Street. So what I was hoping we could do was install speed control devices on that street to slow them down. Lo and behold, that's a 5-lane. We can't install those devices on that street. So I just heard you say that I didn't know we had a stop sign at McCarley.
McCarley and Josephine.
So everybody, all traffic
areas have a stop sign. That's not respected. Once they stop and give that respect at that stop sign, then it's zoom, like I said, it's I-65.
Okay, so because I didn't know we had that stop sign. That's I wrote yesterday. I wrote Matt Stimson a letter asking him to put a stop sign. They used to
no, it's a stop sign there. It's a stop sign on each corner that I just mentioned, you know. And the only thing I can come up with in order to slow that traffic down would be cameras, you know. Because like I said, we're gonna have to do something because we help the city out, the neighbors on Josephine. We get out there and we clean our own sidewalk, you know. We mow our own lawn in front of our resident, you know. And if the traffic, you all agree for the traffic division to make this in the past emergency street lane, then we feel as though you all ought to accommodate us with something to slow this traffic down before an elderly person get hurt or a child, you know. Because when I say it's I-65, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. They don't respect a wheelchair. They don't respect a body, nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, Ms. Robinson, I want to thank you for taking from your busy schedule to come down
Thank you.
to make known to us the issues that you're concerned with. And at this point, this is an administrative matter. I'm going to ask Ms. Thompson would here let the traffic department take a look at the street. And that's what they do. Take a look at this street and see what they can do to slow this traffic down. We have professionals who know what to do. If it's necessary to give them tickets, they give them a ticket. So I've asked Master Simpson, he's going to let the traffic department take a look at it and see what it is that they can do. The cameras will show us that they are speeding. We need to stop them from speeding.
Yes.
The camera won't stop them. We need to figure out a way to stop them from speeding. And based on the professionals we have on our team, I think that can happen, and Matt Stimpson is going to help us with that.
Let's ticket them. Get in their pocket.
Right.
That'll stop them.
I got you. I'm in.
I ain't got no money to throw away. That'll stop them. So what do I do if I don't, do I need to come back here and address this again? I mean, when is this supposed to be looked at, or?
Well, I'm gonna let Mayor Stimson take it from here.
Council Vice President?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me address the camera situation and being able to ticket. The City of Mobile is not allowed to issue tickets based on evidence that's captured by a traffic camera. It's a state statute that prohibits us from doing that. From the city's perspective, from the mayor's office, we would love to have that because it's not just your street. There are lots of intersections we have that people completely ignore, whether it's a stop sign or a traffic light. But we can put enforcement out there with radar guns. There are things that we can do, and we will start looking into that, and we'll see if there's some kind of traffic calming device that other than because it is a thoroughfare, that there's certain things we can't do, but we will look at that, and you can call my office, in let's say 3 weeks or so, and let's see what's happened.
Okay, can I come down there and get your number?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right.
He'll give it to you right now.
Okay. Well, I do thank you all, and you all have a good day.
You do the same.
Brother Chairman,
Mr. Small.
I would like to thank Ms. Robinson for coming down. This is not just an issue in District 1, it's an issue also in all across District 3. I had called the chief of police, numerous of times, and this is just not main thoroughfare. This is like inside neighborhoods, like Garbage Street in the Oakdale community, and also Clubhouse Road in the South DIP area, where we constantly are having speeders going down the street, like it's Interstate 65. For instance, on Garbage Street in the Maysville, Oakdale community, I have Craighead Elementary School and also First Baptist Daycare, which is located between Baltimore Street and Garbage Street, and constantly is having speeders flying up and down those neighborhood streets. Some of them use the stop sign as yield signs, and some of them just basically just go through them. And we do have, kids, from the daycare to Craighead, constantly, traveling and walking those streets with speeders. Same as Clubhouse Road. I have kids leaving, BC Rain, walking home, and constantly there are, speeders in these neighborhoods. And again, I had, asked the chief, several times to look into this, but it has to be something done with these speeders, because not only, like Ms. Robinson said, the elderly, in the wheelchair, I'm looking at, smaller kids, walking up, going to school and, going to school and coming back home from school. And so I would like to ask the administration, along with the public safety director, with the chief of police, to look at this, because this is something that I've been asking the chief, several times. When we put the policemen out there, with a radar for a couple of, weeks or 7 days, then, but the next 6 months is nothing, out there. But this is something that need to be addressed, not just in District 1, but really all across District 3. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Richardson.
My final remarks on this, I'm going to ask Mayor Stimson if he would have the traffic department to conduct a traffic count. We did that on Fulton, and people wanted additional traffic devices on their street. And when the 3-week period was over, we found that no one was speeding, that everybody was driving according with the law. So it's almost impossible to have a police officer on this street 24 hours. The traffic count will tell us the number of cars on that street, how fast they are driving, the peak time that they are speeding. If they are speeding, they're going to tell us the peak time that they are speeding. So at that particular time, it's the time we need to have the officers out there. Once we do a traffic count, so much valuable information we can gather from that, then we can zero in on the problem. If not, we just shooting a scattergun at the problem. So I would like to, it's not a long street. Josephine Street is 3 blocks long. And if we could do a traffic count then we can zero in on what the problem really is.
Mr. Vice President?
Yes,
if I
ma'am.
might, in listening to my colleagues, I too get these similar complaints, and in the past, on numerous occasions, I have contacted the captain of my precinct to let him know about the issue. If it was an email, I forwarded it to him or contacted him, and then he in return contacted the traffic department. They set up the monitoring devices, got the traffic count, and then they sent out traffic control officers to indeed write tickets and slow people down. So we can do it. It has been done, and I think it's probably one of the most effective ways if we keep officers in these areas to let people know that they have to slow down, otherwise they will get tickets. So that should happen for you as well.
If I could comment?
Mrs. Rich?
Thank you so much. I do think this is a systemic problem throughout the district, and it's particularly unnerving when it's in a residential corridor because of the quality of life that is you know, of utmost concern, and people expect when they're in their homes to have a certain amount of, I guess, peace or security, and traffic volumes is tremendous. And I think the whole aspect of looking at patterns and having plans that address the traffic management would be something that would really help our neighborhoods to remain stable, to give them some more ownership among the neighborhoods for having a certain quality that they expect. And speeding, that is, I'm sure, one of the #1 complaints that we get from our citizens. And I too look to public safety and traffic to help resolve some of the problems. And the earlier you can get to them, the better. But again, once a traffic pattern is developed, unless there's other ways to route people, which is something that probably should be considered, it's a tool that we have, and the city can work with neighborhoods and work with residents. And getting police presence is very, very important, and having those patrols out there monitoring for the speeding would be also very, very good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Rashawn Figures. Marty O'Malley.
For the math. Thank you. Marty O'Malley, 151 South Ann Street. I'm representing L'Arche Mobile and the Service First Bank First Light Marathon presented by Mobile Sports Authority. My companion here is Reverend David Edwards, who represents People United for the Advancement of the Dream. About a year and a half ago, when I realized that the marathon in 2018 was going to be on the same weekend as Martin Luther King Jr., came up with this crazy idea that I brought to the mayor and said, what if we promoted the unity and diversity of our city, and since the marathon and the MLK was all together, what if we bring all the people involved together under one event and say and show the city and the world our unity. So beginning with Mobile United, People United for the Advancement of the Dream, Port City Chapter of Blacks in Government, L'Arche Mobile, we began to meet, and we've been meeting over a year to coordinate and cross-promote all the events of MLK. The city's gotten involved by having a representative attend our meetings, and what we're trying to do is promote various events. So, for example, we're recruiting at least 26 churches and groups, and you'll know the significance of 26 in a minute, to be involved on Saturday morning with People United to do citywide cleanup. So the vision is that Mobile United will coordinate Tricentennial Park cleanup like they've done in the past, and the other churches will coordinate cleanup in their neighborhoods. At least 26 different neighborhoods will be doing cleanup. On Sunday, which is where we came up with at least 26, we're having those 26 groups and churches walk 1 mile the marathon. We'll have a common banner signifying our unity and diversity. The scripture theme is Micah 6:8, which for those to know it's act justly, love kindness, and walk humbly with our God. So we'll have Church 1 walk starting from the starting to mile 1. They'll hand off that banner to church number 2, and so on throughout the 26 miles. At mile 26, which is around Cathedral Square, we're also hosting a national LARSH meeting that weekend, so we're going to have 225 people from LARSH throughout the United States at Cathedral Square, so they will finish this Unity and Diversity March for the 0.2 miles. On Monday, the traditional breakfast will take place at Bishop State. The traditional MLK March will follow that breakfast with a new route, which will be centered around Callaway Smith School. And at the conclusion of the march, people will enter back into Callaway Smith, and LARSH Mobile's coordinated interface service. So we wanted to make sure that the city council members knew, the mayor was up on board, as well as the city of Mobile, just to make sure that everybody understands that this is our way of bringing our city together and showing our unity. Anyway, questions we're free to have. We actually have a meeting at noon to continue this planning.
Mrs. Greger?
Marty, can you send us a list of the churches that are involved so that we can see which are in our districts?
Yeah, I will. Right now, we have 22 committed, and we also have a list of 55 others that we are in the process of contacting. So I'll send that to you. So.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Williams? We have 1 minute, correct?
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, People United to Advance the Dream. I'm the president, David Edwards, and on that Sunday night, which Marty forgot about, well, he'll be there, we have what's called the second annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Black Tie and Awards Gala. We've instituted and began to start this scholarship fund where we give out a scholarship every year to deserving high school students that's going on to pursue a career in journalism or something along that field. So what happens is in March, when we go to Selma to do the bridge crossing, we take them to Selma, we take them across the bridge, and we do a tour of the museum, the Voters' Rights Museum. And they come back and they do a documentary on everything that they experienced. After that documentary, it's judged by different news media and whatnot, so that we can begin to mold these students into the avenue of coming back home to do after they finish their college, to come back home and utilize those skills right here in their own city. So what better way to put back into our own community? But we will have that gala that night. The tickets are only $50. You can get a table of 8 for $400 and a table of 10 for $500. But those proceeds from that gala will go towards those scholarships that we give out. Looking forward to seeing all of you there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, before we go on the agenda,
Yes, ma'am.
we need to introduce our students who are here today shadowing us.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one from Faith Academy. His name is Dawson Hatley. Can you stand, please, and be recognized? And I know we have some others.
And Vice President, we also have Charity Mills also from Faith Academy.
All right.
Mayor, you've got some too. Thank you. Good to have you all
Glad
here.
to have you. Thank you all for coming here today. Glad to have you.
Ronald Hunt regarding Resolution 21775.
Hello, I'm Ronald Hunt. I am legally registered to vote at 1351 Sandra Drive, Mobile, Alabama 36618. I kind of co-reside there and out in unincorporated Mobile County in St. Elmo. I guess y'all are kind of used to me coming up here and talking about Fort Condy. I guess Dewey Crowder was a friend of mine, and I've kind of taken on his legacy as the architect of that. I'm addressing you today about the CIP resolution number 21775 that proposes $129,205 to Dobson's Metal Company to put a new roof on Fort Condy. I think it's really essential we take care of that property. It's an extreme city asset. I remember being a child going there when you could get in for 50 cents. I've always had an affinity to that, and when I became a teenager, about 19 or 20 years old, I got to know Mr. Crowder briefly through a friend of mine by the name of Jerry Carr. And then many years later, when I was like in my 20s, I became involved with Cecile Clark and Ron McConnell with Visit Mobile, which was then the Mobile Convention and Visitors Bureau, and started volunteering as the tourism ambassador there. So Fort Condy has had a lot of interest in my life for a long time, for about 20 years, I guess, or maybe even more. And I really want a roof put on it. And I want to see it succeed. I want people to go there and see a vibrant Fort Condy that celebrates the French influence that founded our city with the pride of all that it is. And I really want you to spend the $129,205 to fix the roof. I guess the question about this is citizens' access to Fort Condy. I provided you a packet of information to Ms. Lisa Clambert and to you there. It should be on your desk. And I emailed the rest of you a 17-page packet about my advocacy for Fort Condy over about the last year and a half, trying to find out how it was going to be coming from a publicly managed facility by the History Museum to a for-profit management by Activation Management Limited Liability Corporation. I didn't print 7 copies of 17, but you got them in your email this morning. I sent them before I went to bed last night, if you've not already found them. And Mr. Manzi has a copy, and Ms. Lambert has a copy. On November 7th, there was some discussion about this over the restaurant Olivia's. It's going to be at 150 South Royal Street, which is going to be the restaurant that Activation Management is contracting or franchising to serve food there in their new venture. And there was a lot of discussion by Mrs. Councilwoman Bess Rich about the liquor liability. And it seemed to me that there was some confusion about actually how Activation Management came to take possession of that facility. I put a transcript of the discussion there, and I put a transcript of copies of everything I found in the last year and a half. But about a year and a half later, I still don't have an answer to how the relationship is between the History Museum of Mobile and Activation Management. I have been several times to the board members of the History Museum Board of Directors asking if they would make public the situation that they have between themselves and Activation Management, what the economic terms are for managing city-owned property for a museum board that has a $1,150,000 fiscal contract to provide historic exhibits there, which they still do. They have a historic exhibit in the museum like they did when it was private, or excuse me, it was a public property. But now you pay an admission fee to get into it, and you didn't pay an admission fee when the museum was there. It was free. And now, unless it's changed recently, it's $8 to get in as an adult, and it's a reduction for other things. I think that's a little unfair that we're going to put a roof on it, we're going to paint it, we're providing a lot of the maintenance, and we don't even provide a free day to the City of Mobile employees or the citizens or the taxpayers, or even like me, when I live out in rural Mobile County, I go to Publix, and I go to Dollar Tree, and I go to the movies, and I go to restaurants, and I pay city sales tax every time I go into the city. In a facility that once was free, now I have to pay $8 to go into, and yet all those tax dollars that I pay are putting a roof on it for $129,205. I just think the relationship on how Activation Management works with that, the profit they're making off having that property, the museum is receiving a contract to provide exhibits there, which it does, and the taxpayers are paying both to get into it, and they're also paying the maintenance on it. And that just concerns me. That's why I wanted to come down today and talk about it. Thank you for hearing me.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Ordinance is held over. 65048, delete Chapter 52 and sections of Chapters 11, 25, and 28, and create a new Chapter 52 of the Mobile City Code to be entitled Real Property Maintenance and Enforcement.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes, sir. I have an amendment to make. I move to substitute the amended ordinance which was provided to us earlier by the clerk's office for that which appears on the agenda.
Second.
And proper motion and second on the amendment. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The amendment passes.
Let's go back to the original motion.
Have to go back
Is there, it's been motion and second. Any discussion on the original motion
as amended.
as amended? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
CIP resolutions held over 21775, authorized contract with Dobson Sheet Metal and Roofing and Specialties for Fort Condy roof repairs.
So moved.
Second. It's been properly motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions held over, there's no objection, I'll take all of these reallocations together, 09776777, 778, 779, 780 are reallocating monies from District 7, District 3, District 2, District 6 discretionary accounts to various fundings.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items carried.
Authorized 21781, authorized contract with Sunrise Contracting Services for Fire Station Number 16, Captain's Bathroom renovations, and 21782, authorized contract with VES to replace sectional doors, Fire Station Number 16 and 17.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items passed.
31783, authorize the mayor to apply, accept, and receive the Alabama Department of Transportation Transportation Alternative Program grant for Mobile Greenway Segment 6 North.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Items passed.
Ordinances being introduced for the first time, 64049 through 64050.
By council rules, these ordinances will lay over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 03793 through 58786.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 03793 through 58786.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Items passed.
03793, appoint Walsh Arundel to the Mobile Museum of Art Board.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
58786, declare weeds noxious, Group 1574.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 09787.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 09787.
Second.
Proper motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
09787, reallocate monies from General Fund Senior Planning Director Professional and Technical Expenditures to Alabama Municipal Trust Fund to Capital Project, Capital Improvement Fund for software system implementation and training.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21788 through 21791.
Resolution 21788 through 791 through 21791 will lay over for 1 week by council rules.
Call for public hearings, 41792, call for public hearing to rezone property at 812, 816, 818, 820, and 822 Holcomb Avenue, north side of Holcomb Avenue, 50 feet west of Euclid Avenue, from R1 and B3 to B3, scheduled January 2nd, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearings called.
Announcements.
Madam City Clerk, any announcements this week?
The City Council meeting for December 19th will be at the History Museum of Mobile on South Royal Street.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. First of all, I think that what we have heard at the beginning is that Mobile is continuing its great tradition of superior and winning ways in athletics. I'm just proud of the McGill-Tulane Yellow Jackets and the Dirty Dozen and all that they have been able to accomplish. And I thank our staff for acting so swiftly and preparing the recognition. Thank you.
Mr. Small.
Thank you, Vice President. Greetings to the citizens of District 3. 'Tis the season to be jolly in District 3. Next Tuesday, we will be hosting our annual community Christmas event at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, December the 12th at the Palmer Pillins Middle School, which is located on Military Road. We will have plenty of food, drinks, entertainment. We will have special entertainment from Pillins Middle School, also Gilliard and Craighead Elementary School. We're inviting all the citizens and community leaders in District 3 to please come out on next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We're also asking for the ones that's coming out next Tuesday to also remember a elderly person that's in our community by bringing non-perishable items, items such as socks, nutrition bars, toothbrushes, pajamas, house slippers, unflavored lip balm, scented lotion, baby powder, blankets, hair brushes, and combs. There are many citizens, especially throughout Mobile, but especially in District 3, that do not have loved ones at Christmas times, and also in the nursing homes. And for the last 4 years, we've been visiting different nursing homes and also different residents in the district that do not have family members. And when we approach them and get them a gift, you ought to just see their faces. It really lights up like a Christmas tree by bringing joy to their hearts in the holiday season. So we're asking everyone who is coming next Tuesday to just bring an unwrapped gift, but we can share love on this Christmas season with an elderly person. Also, we will be having our 3rd annual holiday parades of threes on Saturday, on December the 16th at 2:00 p.m. This parade is in partnership between Council District 3 and State House District 103, Representative Barbara Drummond. We will start this parade at BC Rain High School at 3125 Dauphin Island Parkway, and we'll head north on Dauphin Island Parkway, and we'll end at the Pillins Middle School at 2050 Military Road. This parade seems like it gets bigger and better every year. I had people to contact me back in the spring in May asking me about this parade, and I was just saying, wait a minute, I'm running a campaign right now, I can't talk about the parades. But it's something that the citizens have been excited for the past couple of years. They've been asking and inquiring about it for the last several months, and this is something that we're going to deliver on the 16th at 2:00 p.m. on Dauphin Island Parkway. We have bands, we have floats, we have horses, and it's going to be a great, excited event that we're having. It's not only for the citizens of District 3, but for the citizens, inside Mobile and outside of Mobile area, where we can bring holiday love this Christmas. Again, remember that District 3 is a place where things are happening. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Yes, sir. Mr. Richardson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vice President. I would like to send out this alert to the entire region, along with the citizens in the city of Mobile, that George Clinton, with the Parliaments and the Funkadelics, will grace the stage as our premier performer on New Year's Eve downtown Mobile with the Moon Pie Drop. I'd like to say that in the Center Time Zone, Mobile has garnished the spotlight. There's no event in the Center Time Zone that can preempt the Moon Pie Drop. The attention is on our city. We intend to pack out downtown and its hotels, and we are looking for at least 60,000 people to be on the street. I can describe George Clinton with one word: showtime. So on New Year's Eve night, it is showtime downtown Mobile, and the city will be electrified. Just want our citizens to get ready to come out to have a good time on New Year's Eve downtown Mobile. Thank you.
Mrs. Gregory.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Tonight I have my annual Christmas meeting. We will be at the Mobile Museum of Art. Starts at 6 o'clock. We will again bring gifts for the children at Wilmer Hall, recognize our public safety officers as well as neighborhood groups, and of course refreshments will be served. And this year also we have entertainment from the Mary B. Austin Choir. So everyone, 6 o'clock this evening, we should beat the rain and the cold weather, so come on out and enjoy the annual District 7 Christmas meeting. Over the weekend, I had a chance to read to children at the Explorium. We got into some Curious George, and the Explorium was packed this weekend. It was really great to see all of the children and parents at the Explorium taking part in the events there. Also at the museum this weekend, I'm sure you all know, was the free weekend for the Posing Beauty exhibit. We had entertainment, fashion show, and of course tours of the museum. Nice crowd turned out. We hope to get some more media attention in the future to continue these. But I thank all of the folks who were involved in putting this exhibit on. Thanks to my colleagues on the council for their financial support, and of course to Deborah Velders and her staff for all that they do to make these weekends, especially the free weekends, a popular event. And also this past weekend on Sunday was Christmas on the Hill. Wonderful opportunity to do your Christmas shopping. So many of these retailers are not open on Sunday, so they opened their doors. Many of them had refreshments. We had special entertainment, a great opportunity for everyone to get out and stroll. The weather was perfect. You couldn't have asked for a better day to go do your Christmas shopping. So thanks to everyone for being involved in that. It was a great event. Tomorrow I will be with the University of South Alabama speaking to their leadership class. I look forward to providing some information about the City Council, how our form of government changed in 1985, and answering any questions that the students at South Alabama have. So thank you, South Alabama, for that opportunity. And that's all, Mr. Vice President.
Mrs. Rich.
Thank you very much. I just want to remind everybody about the breakfast that will take place for the holidays up at the Senior Center at 9 a.m. on Wednesday the 13th. I look forward to a really fun time, and Ron Prater will be catering the breakfast. He is the chef up there, so people are very familiar with his talent, and it's a fun time. I also welcome my colleagues to join us because people from the center come from all over, and they really have a good time, and it's really great for the holiday spirit. The meeting that my office hosted last Thursday with Mark White, the principal planner for Map of Mobile and our new codes, was very well attended by neighborhood representatives. And I urge citizens, not just in District 6, but throughout Mobile, to log on to mapofmobile.org and read some of the downloads of the different plans well, the codes are not there yet, but talking about signage and placement of buildings and how our city can look in the future, because if it's any template, our land use long-range plans do stick around for a long time. So it's your opportunity to ask your questions, and I understand that they are each answered. Sometimes they're answered collectively when people ask the same question, but it does give you the opportunity to review what is up now and how our city will evolve. So again, I urge you to be part of that process, and that's mapformobile.org, and they have all the latest information up there, and you can open it up and read it and ask your questions. Thank you.
Mr. Davis.
No announcements.
Sounds like well, I want to start by officially welcoming one of our new pastors to the District 2 community. She came to the Bethel AME Church now about 3 months ago in the person of Pastor Deborah Peppers. We welcome you, look forward to working with you. We've already have had an opportunity to sit down and talk with her about her vision for how Bethel could become even more involved in the fabric of the city. So again, welcome, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come. And I also want you to come Thursday on December the 7th at the VIA Center for our district Christmas leadership.
She already accepted an engagement that night.
She has?
Yes.
Well, see, y'all, that's okay. That's okay. Next year. And for everyone who isn't going to CJ's function on Thursday, he is. I will be having our annual Christmas Leadership Fellowship on Thursday, 6 o'clock rather, at the VIA Center on Dolphin Street. We're asking that everyone would bring items so that we can make a large donation to the Grand Friends program that's located there at the VIA Center. And Councilman Small, I hope that somebody is able to come to my function. Next year we need to coordinate so that we won't have this conflict, but I know he'll have a wonderful event as well. And we have so much to be thankful for here in the city of Mobile. We're going to ask each and every one of you to do your best to shop local. I know you see all these great deals on the internet and all the other places, but when you shop local, those resources stay here so that we can continue to do the great things we're doing relative to capital improvement here in the city of Mobile. Any further announcements? Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Probably motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Coaching pastors out of this.